Hello there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alane Freund. I'm an international consultant on high sensitivity, and I'm joined today by my friend and colleague, Monica Zimmerman. She's a CEO, a business consultant, and an artist, and recently published her book, Creative Leadership for Modern Leaders. We just did a great webinar. We got a lot of great feedback, and I really enjoyed it, hence the moniker great, on how to help highly sensitive people thrive in business. We wanted to address a question that came in during the webinar because I think it's something that so many of us can relate to. Here it is. My professional development has never really happened, and I feel the loss. I could not find the way to balance my HSP needs with the requirements of the masculine paradigm business world. So I contented myself with my own creative, spiritual, and relational pursuits. Good for you. However, now I still feel a need to express myself more professionally. As others name the problem with becoming an entrepreneur, learning business management skills along with developing my gifts and skills, and trying to keep HSP balanced, my high sensitivity balance, it's too much. I love my high sensitivity and the accompanying personal complexity and depth of processing, and yet those things require so much care and time to manage. How do I balance all this? How do I use my sensitivity to support myself and not make it an excuse for not having what I want to have, a professional expression of my skills and gifts to benefit others? There feels like there's just not enough of me to make real headway. Oh, I just feel so much of this question. Monica, what are your initial impressions?
Well, this is a prime time for highly sensitive people to move up in the world, in the corporate world. Let me tell you why. Because things are shifting and changing since C-19 the last 4, 5, 6 months and on. Companies are looking for diversity consultants. They're looking for empathy experts. They're looking for a better way to see their employees. And the shift is here. And that's why I wrote the book, because how do people navigate this new world? Well, this is the blueprint for the new global business person. So I would say this is a prime time to take those skills and put them in the forefront. This is what I do. I'm great at empathy. I can see people. I can see into their soul very quickly, their traits, how to hire quickly. I'm not sure what industry she's speaking of, but most of the industry is patriarchal. It is a masculine-driven industry, whatever, kind of across the board.
And like, no, wait. I have to say, besides it being sort of masculine paradigm, when I read that, what I thought was, the business world, the whole world is 80% paradigm. The world is designed by and for the 80% who are not highly sensitive. So, yes, there is a masculine paradigm. Women are struggling and are still one down in the business world. However, for a highly sensitive person, I'm not sure if the male-female thing is even the dominant issue. I don't know what you think, Monica, but that 80% thing makes it a really hard place for highly sensitive people.
Well, remember too that 1 out of 5 are highly sensitive, and out of all the CEOs across the country that are predominantly white men, 1 out of 5 are highly sensitive. So how do we reach them? How do we let them know it's okay to use your empathy as your guide, use compassion on the daily? And we're seeing more and more in that. Worker bees and team members are like saying, we are no longer accepting the old command control because it doesn't work. And it's proving not to work. The companies that are thriving have a chief heart officer, like VaynerMedia down in New York. So, I think it's a good time to make that shift. And secondly, to answer the question about trying to, where to put all these complexities during the day in terms of self-care. And my question is, who takes your time? Who do you give your time away to? You can do anything in small bites. You're not going to eat your big 7-course meal in one bite. You take it bite by bite. So I recommend taking it in small bites, creating a self-care plan schedule, and going for what you want.
And professional development schedule as well. I mean, I hear a little grief in this question and, some sorrow that your life thus far hasn't unfolded the way you might have hoped, and you're looking back, and I can really relate because I have the same thing. I feel like, gosh, I wish I had discovered equine assisted psychotherapy at the beginning of my career. I wish that I knew about being able to work online and have a membership and a webinar and developing an online course, these kinds of things. There are people so far ahead of me in doing that. And I think, like, why wasn't I Marie Forleo when I was 30 something, and here I am in my mid 50s. And I think, oh, it's too late. When I started doing YouTube, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be on camera. I'm an introvert YouTuber now. It's crazy. But we highly sensitive people, we move a little slower in terms of development. And I think we have to be more gentle in our expectations. At the same time, sometimes you do have to grieve those losses of whatever decade, you didn't get to do what you wish you had done. And here's the thing, start now. Do you know Elaine Aron didn't become a psychologist until she was in her 40s? And I've actually been thinking about getting my PhD in my mid 50s. So we can continue to move forward. That's a huge regret I have, actually, that I never got my PhD. I got 2 masters instead of a PhD. Why? I don't know. It's just the way my life unfolded. And here I am starting to feel like maybe I can be a little bit more in charge. Here's another thing. When you said, Monica, you don't know what's taking this person's time. I cannot tell you if you have a child at home, how much time that takes. I only know because my child is no longer at home. Wow. I miss him terribly, but man, do I have a lot more time. So, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's true. I mean, when they leave, you're like, how did I get all that stuff done? I'm like, I have so much time now.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that we do have to really create a schedule and write down our intentions and be so not in denial. I mean, like, when you are going to meditate, you meditate. When you're going to exercise, you exercise. And then I have that video for my people who join my mailing list at areyouhighlysensitive.com called Backwards Scheduling. And every year or so I put a new free video up, but for that, for people who join the mailing list. But it's so important. So if you haven't gotten on my mailing list and gotten that free video for Backwards Scheduling, please do so, because it's what I've learned over my adult life, my life as a family therapist for almost 3 decades, and my 2 decades of parenting, that we, of highly sensitive child no less, that we have to really be clear with our schedule and be so careful with ourselves. We have to treat ourselves like the precious vessels that we are. So, and you know what? I'm a little aggravated that I can't just go out there and do everything I want to do. I'm a high sensation seeker. I want to do it all. And it ticks me off that I can't. So I have to be really careful with myself, and so do you. What else, Monica?
Well, I think just the willingness to keep moving forward is key. Where's that spark that keeps you move forward? Maybe 10 years ago wasn't your time. Things weren't lining up how they need to be lined up. My belief, there's always a bigger plan going on. And sometimes we think we're ready, or it's the time, and it's just not the right time.
Yeah.
Now I say, stick with it, have patience, and go show them what it's like to be a highly sensitive professional, because that's what I do on a daily. I teach people how to treat me and other people with respect.
Monica, how do people find you? I know they're going to want to talk to you.
Well, you go to my website, zimmermancircle.com.
Great.
And you can also find my book on Amazon.
I really appreciate you coming to discuss this with me. I respect your expertise. And I think that, having the business consultant and the therapist, both of our perspectives here is really helpful to people. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you all will subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch a few videos. The more views and subscribers we have, the more the content will be shown to other highly sensitive people. And it's my mission in the world to reach all the highly sensitive people in the world. That's more than 1.5 billion people. So please spread the word, share my videos, subscribe, and come find me, areyouhighlysensitive.com. Thanks so much. Bye.